Hi everyone. We're going to establish basic trig identities. By basic, I mean kind of easy ones. And by finding the common denominator and simplifying that way. So basically, you look at this. You might want to look at this right here and know that that's 1 over sine of theta. That kind of will guide you a little bit where you're going here. So what we're going to do here is work on the left side of the equation because it's more complicated. And I'm just going to rewrite this. This is sine of theta. I'm using my trig ratios over cosine of theta plus cosine of theta over sine of theta. Now, what I'm going to do is get the common denominator here. My common denominator is cosine theta times sine of theta. And the best way to do that, this is times. It looks like a minus. Let me just take that out. Okay, cosine of theta, sine of theta. That's times. It doesn't even look good. Okay. And you can do it normally, or what a trick to this is just when you have something like that's basically simple like this, just cross here and multiply these two. So when you do that, you're going to get sine squared of theta plus cosine squared of theta. Now we're going to use our Pythagorean identity. We know that sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta equals 1. So I'm going to rewrite that as cosine of theta times 1 over cosine of theta times sine of theta. And if I put this over 1 and multiply across, I get cosine of theta over cosine of theta times sine of theta. What happens is these cancel and you have a 1 here. So we get 1 over sine of theta, which is what we wanted. And I would just go ahead and rewrite this as cosecant of theta. And cosecant of theta is supposed to equal this side. So that should be your last line of your proof. Okay, the next one's the same type, but it's with sine instead. So we're going to expand my cotan as a ratio, and that's cosine of theta over sine of theta plus sine of theta over cosine of theta. This is supposed to equal secant of theta. And just don't forget, this is really 1 over cosine of theta. That helps you. Now we're going to get the common denominator. And our common denominator is sine of theta times cosine of theta. And you cross here. So you're going to get cosine squared of theta plus sine squared of theta. And just like in the previous slide, this part here equals 1. So I'm going to write this again as sine of theta over 1 times 1 over sine of theta times cosine of theta. So that gives you sine of theta over sine of theta times cosine of theta. Now these two cancel. It divides out by 1. So you get 1 over cosine of theta, which is what we seeked. And 1 over cosine equals secant of theta. So this is what we desired. And that's all. The next ones we're going to do involves the Pythagorean identities and factoring and foiling to get to establish the identities. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye-bye.